Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with the tournament win for the Northern Open tournament here in Golf Clash the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and before we start don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content for free. Last but not least, get the guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. We do have the best guides on the market. Can we get this video up to 500 thumbs up? That would be insane and I would be very thankful. Follow the info box on the right hand side. I will give you the elevation adjustment, the club distance adjustment, also what ball and club type combined with club I do, the ball type and the club type I do suggest you to use. You don't have to follow my suggestions, but there's always a plan with it. And as always, when we go to Rookie Division, my focus is on both lower and higher level clubs, but most especially I'm trying to use free-to-play ball, or like I'm using always free-to-play balls and as low as possible to still maximize the possibility for a drop. But in the end, if you do have any questions, send us an email to support@golfclashtommy.com with whatever question you might have. So in the end, let's focus and go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we're gonna play on the right hand side here. We're gonna use the extra mile to give ourselves the power. Here I'm using the navigator as well because I do want to reduce the wind as much as possible. 3 bars of topspin, 1 bar of side spin to the right, but the thing that I want you to focus on is to have the second bounce to be approximately 1 ring above the sand. Because if you do have it closer, you're gonna risk getting into the sand. If you do have it longer, you risk rolling into the rough. So having it 1 ring above the sand on the left there is gonna be perfect. Adjustment is going to be max plus 10, and then in the end I'm going to use curl to the right. So I'm gonna take my ball and move it to the right until it cracks the adjustment ring. And then you will see the ball bounce nicely on the fairway over the bunker, and then it's going to roll nicely here, and we are not close to be in the rough or into the sand in any shape or form. But the thing that we do get from here is that we do get a short iron towards the pin. We do have a little mound there on the right, and that is going to be difficult to adjust on. So I'm trying to use the side spin here to move myself more left, so it's gonna have as little impact possible. So 1 side spin to the right there, and then ball guideline short of pin, but you can see here on the video that I leave it too short. I need to move it up half a green square to a green square or something like that to get into the correct speed towards the pin. Because if there is something, or there is one thing that we could never do, and that is to go short. We rather want to come in hot, because then we at least have a chance for the ball to drop. But if we come in short, we're never gonna have a chance to get that ball to drop in any shape or form. I play medium distance plus 10, and obviously that's going to be so dependent on how far you get with your drive. So make sure you check and what distance you have your club in before you make the adjustment for the second shot. For hole number 2, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna play a rough bump, and we're gonna go with the top of the yellow ring by the edge of the rough. Then we add spin. 2 backspin, 1 bar side spin to the right, ball guideline to be just slightly through the hole. You can see it there. Now, we're going to make an adjustment here that is going to be medium distance with a 20% over adjustment, which equals 2.2 rings, which also is 1-to-1 for those that are looking at the wind as well. But that is going to be a little bit too much. So the thing that I would recommend you to do is to play minimum distance with a 20% over adjustment, which is going to be 2 rings instead of 2.2. Because you can see here, when we're using 2.2, we miss to the left, but we have absolute brilliant speed. So we do need 2 rings instead of 2.2 to get this ball in the hole. And for those of you not using any calculator and stuff like that, you take the wind and then you subtract 0.2. So if you have a 3 miles per hour, you adjust 2.8 and so forth. So I hope that's gonna help you that might not use a calculator. For hole number 3, we're going to go on the right side. And the reason we're going to do that is because then we're going to have a chance to go for the pin. I'm using a Titan, and this is because I do want to go directly over to this fairway, and also that I want to reach in an easier way for the second shot. I'm using in this case 1 bar of topspin and 2 bars of side spin to the right, aiming for the ball guideline to be more on the right hand side of the fairway. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment here. So we do adjust for the max plus 10, and then we're going to take our shot. And here with this drive, we're going to use no curl whatsoever, no overpower, no underpower, and we're just going to try to hit perfect. And you're going to notice that this ball comes in nicely on the fairway, and it lands us very nicely up here on the fairway. And now we're going to have a very good chance to first and foremost reach to the green in 2, but second of all also a good chance for the albatross. Here I would like to say, those of you playing with sniper level 8+, use the sniper above, like before you go to the horizon. But if you do not have the sniper in level 8+, then you play with the horizon, and you're gonna have to just deal with the fact that we don't really have that much backspin on this club. 1 bar backspin, leave the ball guideline short. You know, rather go like a 4 or 5 green square short of pin here, because this ball is gonna come in very hot. The 2 bars of side spin to the left. And as I play with the horizon now, we're not going to play it entirely max distance. We're going to play it in between mid and max distance, which is going to be 1 decimal less than max distance of a club. If you do play with a sniper, you're going to play max plus 10 completely, as sniper has less power than what the horizon is having. Obviously, this albatross is nice to get, but I almost broke the pin coming in, so this is going to be a difficult one to get, and the speed is going to be our biggest problem here to get this ball to drop for an albatross. So for hole number 4, you can see that I do not have a big topper, and therefore it leaves me with one other alternative, which I do believe is going to be the best and most consistent way to get an eagle on hole number 4. But first, if you do have the big topper, you can come away by using a power 3 ball by doing a double bounce over the sand, okay? And the sand that I'm looking at is the sand that you can see there above, like on the other side of the water. That little sand pit there. So you basically add the top spin, let the ball tip of the ball guideline, or like the second bounce, to be approximately 2 rings before the sand. You adjust, you take your shot, you see double bounce and roll towards the fringe / green area. But if you do not have a big topper, you do need to play a different way. And then we come to the Berserker ball, or any other power 5 ball. But I would say Berserker ball, as it is a free to play ball, being able to win in the golden shot. I'm adding 1 bar backspin, 2 bars of side spin to the left, and now I'm going directly over the water instead of double bouncing over. So this is a way easier way to get the eagle here, but I wanted to really mention the other way with a power 3 ball, due to the fact that I don't want us to steer ourselves blind by using a power 5 ball playing from front tee, as I know there will be players that won't be using that type of ball. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 10, and if you go directly over, make sure you add a little bit more overpower than what I did, so we do not risk going too short. But now if we just hit the fairway, we're gonna have the ball by the green in some sort, and that route, being able to bounce over like that, is gonna give you a possibility to actually make an hole-in-one on this par 4, which the big topper shot kind of won't be giving you. So, 2 ways playing hole 4, but what does that lead towards? It leads towards that if you're gonna have anything to do with winning this tournament, this hole needs to be an eagle no matter what way you're playing. So a little bit lower level type of setup with a power 3 ball with a big topper, or an extra mile, or any other driver that gives you a lot of power with a power 5 ball and go directly for the green. In the end, up to you to decide on hole number 4. For hole number 4, I'm going to play with the white ring by the rough line, and then we're going to have, in this case, we're going to add half a bar of side spin to the left. And you're gonna see the ball guideline pointing directly at the pin, and that is what we are looking for in for this shot. So white ring by the rough line, ball guideline at the pin after you have added side spin. Okay? Medium distance with a 15% over adjustment, which in this case is going to be 3 rings. And we're playing with a Marlin, which is a power 0 ball, and wind 1. And also side spin 1 for that matter, but the side spin doesn't really matter. Now we bounce, and we bounce, and we bounce, and we get a very nice roll right at pin. This is a shot that has been dropping every time that I've played it so far, and now I don't want to jinx it, but it's a really good one. Medium distance plus 15, power 0 ball like the Marlin to save the better balls, and then we play with the sniper no matter what level you're having the sniper in. For hole number 6, we're gonna start off with our quarterback. 3 bars of topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right. And now I'm looking for the final bounce. It should be pointing approximately 1 ring into the rough at the top with the red ring by the rough line. And the reason I'm using that as a reference is because it's very difficult otherwise to know, are we too high up, or are we too low, or are we in a perfect position? So that's why we're doing so. Now I'm going with all of the ball outside the adjustment ring except for a little click that is just halfway inside the outside part of the ring. In curl. Adjustment is going to be medium distance and no elevation whatsoever. And we're trying to get this ball as far down the fairway possible. Now, for the second shot, we're gonna play with either the sniper or the horizon. If you do have the sniper in level 7+, you play with the sniper. Otherwise, we play with the horizon due to the fact that we do need power enough to go over the first piece of rough, so we're not gonna have to go in between clubs and going to go with overpower. Now I'm using 0.8 topspin. I would strongly recommend you to reduce that. It's very hard to read the ball guideline of the horizon. So just a 0.2 bars of topspin would definitely be enough. So in the end, we do hit perfect after adjustment of maximum distance plus 10. And the ball comes in here, but it gets such an enormous speed that we do... No, I'm not sure that we would have dropped that one if we not hit the pin dead on straight. So in the end though, decent chance for an albatross in my opinion. I would say sniper definitely increases the chances for an albatross, but horizon is a good backup to have. For hole number 7, we're going to use 4.5 bar topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right with our katana. Here, we do have the red ring by the rough line to the right, but I would recommend you to move half a ring more to the right. So we do have half of the red ring inside the rough to the right. Adjustment is going to be medium distance plus 10 with this shot, and then we're gonna go with full curl. Full curl with this club means approximately half a ball outside the adjustment ring to the right. And that is what you're going to use on other clubs as well. The problem we have here, and the reason we get so close to the rough, is due to that we are not moved, we haven't found the position that is correct for us. So we need to move more right, as already explained. So half a ring more to the right, so we don't risk going into the rough, especially if we do hit great left. Second shot, we're gonna play with a thorn or a hornet. Very important to check your club distance. Here it looks very close to maximum distance of our club, but it's not entirely max distance in my opinion. So maximum distance plus 10 is obviously from max distance. This is going to be somewhere between medium and maximum distance, as to give you some sort of a reference. Here I do adjust 1.8 rings, which is 2 decimals less than max. But you can see here that we definitely add 1 decimal too much, which should have gotten us, 1.7 rings, which would, in this case, looking at this shot, getting us in the hole. So in the end, check your club distance. It's going to be closer towards max many of the times, but really check the distance and estimate your adjustment based on that. For hole number 8, the final of the par 3s, we're gonna play with 2 bars of side spin to the left, and then I'm going to use 2.5 bar of top spin, meaning I'm gonna get the ball guideline to the hole. Very important when you're attempting this rough bump to have a couple of things in mind. First, you can hit great left and great right, you will still clip the rough. Second, don't go too high in the rough, because then you will get into a glitch spot, which is gonna be terrible. So have the yellow ring inside the rough, ball guideline to the hole, and then we're going to adjust. In this case, I do adjust for medium distance with a 10% over adjustment, but we do need to play maximum distance. So we do need to play maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, which should have been, in this case, 2.4 rings. You can see I clipped the rough very nicely, but the ball comes in just right side of the pin and maybe a little bit too hot as well, but it should have dropped even though we would have hit the cup or the pin in any shape or form. Max plus 10, and then we attempt a rough bump on this very tricky par 3 from front tee, and I do believe that this is going to be the best way to make an hole-in-one. For hole number 9, we are going to play straight down the fairway, using the quarterback to give ourselves the best accuracy possible, because we don't want to risk going into the rough if we do hit a great left or a great right. So I'm using 3 bars of topspin, 2 bars of side spin to the left, and looking at the ball guideline to be more towards the right side, but more or less straight down the middle. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 20, and then after that we're not gonna push up anything, no overpower, no underpower, just take a normal shot. We're looking for this ball to get obviously onto the fairway, and we're going to want to be closer to the right side than we want to the left, because that's going to simplify the second shot more for us than otherwise. Now, either you play with the sniper if you do have it in level 7+, otherwise you go with the horizon. And here I'm using topspin into the rough to roll up towards the pin. So in this case I'm using 2 bars of topspin, no side spin whatsoever, and leaving the ball guideline just shy of pin. And this is because we do have a tailwind, and the wind will push the ball a little bit further up in the rough, and therefore we need to make sure that the ball guideline is slightly short of pin. Medium distance with a 10% over adjustment is what I'm going for here, and then it's time to take our shot. Perfect ball is on its way, and the ball bounces nicely on the fairway into the rough and then roll up towards the pin, and we just barely missed that one to the right hand side. Good try though, and this double bounce here gives you an albatross attempt. Otherwise trying to bounce around the water or just directly over the water, not using the rough, will make the albatross attempt pretty much close to impossible. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division with the tournament win for the Northern Open tournament here in Golf Clash the game. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you do get your package on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Thank you once again for watching, and good luck in your Golf Clash game.